Definitely not my alarm clock. Maybe Russia's gonna mess around tonight.
Devastation. And these two ladies are showing us around. They want everyone to know what's been happening here to civilians.
Welcome back to the States. You survived.
Survived the driving, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm so glad you're back. I just wanted to introduce you to YWAM Kona family. We met through your book, Tip of the Spear, which is an awesome book. Everyone needs to get it. And we are making a movie together based on this book. Ryan is Special Forces Green Beret, 8 tours to Afghanistan and tours to many other places. Recently retired from the Green Beret. Ryan has an incredible story. And those who aren't familiar with the Green Beret, but they're one of America's elite special forces unit. And their whole MO is to get dropped in behind enemy lines and win hearts and minds by working with local forces. Made him uniquely qualified to be airdropped in with YWAM Kiev to work with our friends there. But on one of his missions in Afghanistan, Ryan stepped on an IED, a landmine. And his job as an engineer within the Special Forces unit was to clear landmines. And in helping rescue an Afghani, he stepped on one himself. It was an incredible injury that blew his leg off. And he was given the option after nearly losing his life several times. He was given the option of getting a prosthetic leg, which would be a lot faster and less painful, or being one of the very first to an experimental limb reattachment process. He was told it would be about a 5% chance of it actually working and that it would be incredibly painful. It actually requires bone on bone growth to get the leg back reattached. So it's a very painful process. I believe it was about 27 surgeries over 15 months. He was told that there was a slim chance that he was going to be able to walk. And Ryan said, well, not only am I going to walk, I'm going to go back to the fight as a Green Beret. And everyone said he was crazy. And if within 15 months, he was back on the front lines with his reattached leg. And not only did he go and do amazing things, but he actually won the Silver Star, which is one of America's highest awards for bravery, by rescuing a group of Afghan commandos. So this is Ryan Hendrickson. Tell us a little bit about how you ended up YWAM Ukraine and what your experience was like there.
YWAM Kona. Hey, what's up? Dave and I, we've known each other for a little while now. And I was talking to him in early March. And I was just explaining to him, I just feel like there's something missing. I'm working this government job right now. We just left Afghanistan when it closed down. A lot of mixed feelings there. I'm not really doing anything with my life, which is weird. If you look from the outside in, you'd say, oh no, you've done a lot, but not really. It's all just, been kind of doing what you're told. So we were just messing around a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll just go to Ukraine and just see what kind of trouble I can get into. And we laughed for a minute and it's like, what do you want to do in Ukraine? Maybe go and try and help. I mean, I've heard of, these humanitarian organizations or whatnot. And Dave was like, huh, yeah, I know of something over there if you're interested. So, well, what do you know? It's YWAM Kiev. Yeah, I got a contact over there or two. All right, youth with a mission. I was like, Dave, I'm 43, man. There ain't no youth here. So that doesn't matter. All right. So we talked about it in maybe about a week. I was on a plane to Krakow, Poland, still not quite sure what exactly I was going to do. And then I meet up with this guy at the airport and he's like, all right, cool. I'm your ride. It's like, wow, this is just out of the SF playbook here. Meet up with an indigenous force, get moved in behind enemy lines, build up. And this is, holy cow. Okay. maybe this is kind of up my alley here. And yeah, when made my way to Kyiv and was introduced to YWAM Kyiv. The entire world was well aware that the Russians were going to be in downtown Kyiv within 72 hours to take Kyiv and all this other stuff. And this group of young adults in this whole meeting got together and they said, okay, we could leave or we could stay and help, because there's a lot of people out there that can't leave. And those people are going to need help. Those people are going to need hope in what we can give them. And so this group of I guess you call them YWAMers or something like that, they decided, and we are going to help. That's the group that I fell in on. The decision they made was a very tough decision because the outcome is unknown.
In the background, you can hear all the explosions going on outskirts of the city. So it's definitely a country at war, and the civilians are suffering the most. We are delivering food and bedding to one of the bomb shelters here.
We know what is happening on the outskirts of Kyiv. We're seeing the flashes, we're hearing the booms and everything like that. That's about ready to come to Kyiv, but we're going to stay because people need our help. And so I have a lot of respect for that. And although it looks like it's going to be a pretty bad outcome for the Ukrainian people in Kyiv, they say we're going to stay to help. And that is what I have taken away from YWAM Kyiv was you didn't have to stay, but you did. 2 artillery rounds, 500 meters from the van. We were at a checkpoint, and needless to say, the guards didn't ask for any paperwork. They just said leave. So yeah, we're continuing on to go drop off this food. Definitely a lot of need here.
You have a very specific skill set in what you've learned. YWAM leaders Kyle and Anya were talking to us about, they were worried about their drivers because the drivers were making all of these rounds near dangerous places. What were you able to pass on? I understand you brought some things down there and you also did some training.
Along with bringing down helmets, body armor, stuff that is it's definitely going to help you out if you are around an explosion, a little bit of protection for the drivers. And then if something happens, if a vehicle gets hit, if we roll a landmine or artillery round, what do we do? And so medical training, tourniquet training, life-saving, and that kind of got, everything going a little bit. And then I just got behind the wheel and I just drove the whole time. So it was it was awesome.
How many missions with YWAM did you do down there in terms of transporting food and medicine, etc.?
Over 60 or 70. I'm not really sure how many, but it was quite a bit. We reached a lot of people. Some people they'll have the question and it's like, well, that's a food bag. What are they going to do with that? And it's like, it's not just a food bag. That's hope. And hope is very contagious and it spreads quickly. And so, yeah, that's what YWAM was doing, is they were spreading hope. The hope that somebody cares. You're not alone. You haven't been abandoned. That's what they were doing. And that's life sustaining in a war zone, is hope. If you have no hope, then there's no point in living. You give somebody hope and they'll live. I learned a lot about myself. I grew a lot, and spiritually I grew a lot. I am a Christian, and but I also have seen the evil of humanity. I've seen what humans are capable of in war, and it's some really bad stuff. On this side of things, I saw what humanity looks like. I saw Ukrainian civilians that have lost everything, crawling out of rubble. Everything's been taken from them. They're handed a food bag. They realize that they don't need it as much as this guy over here. They have no clue when they're going to get food again, when the next aid organization's coming in. No idea at all. But I don't need it quite as bad as this guy, so I'm going to give it to him. And I saw that, and it blew my mind. None of it was about, I need to take care of me, self-sustainment. This was about my neighbor's sustainment, and then I'll worry about myself later. And I really thought, like, I learned a lot from that. Just those simple gestures that, yeah, I didn't understand anything, but what I saw, and I saw the kindness and I saw the love, it gave me a lot of reflection back on Afghanistan, because the pain and the despair, the tears, it's the same. Both are people. And so I was able to kind of see some of what happened in Afghanistan, in Ukraine, through these guys. And yeah, it did. It helped me reflect a lot. It helped me to come to terms with a lot, over 8 deployments in Afghanistan. And so I was able to grow a lot as a man and spiritually, from Youth with a Mission, a bunch of renegade missionaries out there that said, no, we're not leaving. Yeah, the YWAM Kyiv group. I appreciate everything you did for me. And I do. I definitely feel like I got a new family over there. Yeah, but YWAM, keep doing what you're doing, because it's changing lives all around the world.